Want to know the secrets that make people trust and follow you without even trying? Stick around, because these psychology tricks will change the game. When you're in a conversation, silence can be one of the most powerful psychological tools. People naturally feel the urge to fill empty spaces with words, and in doing so, they often reveal more than they intend to. This gives you an advantage, not by manipulation, but by observation. Staying quiet after asking a question or making a statement creates a subtle pressure. The other person may interpret your silence as confidence, disapproval, or deep thinking, prompting them to keep talking or to justify their words. It also shifts control. The one who speaks less is usually perceived as more in control of the conversation. Silence shows emotional intelligence and self-restraint. It signals that you're not desperate to be heard, which automatically makes what you say more impactful when you do choose to speak. This technique is especially effective in negotiations, arguments, or interviews. Pauses also give your words more weight. When used intentionally, a brief silence right after making a point allows your message to sink in. People are more likely to reflect on what you said because you're not rushing to fill the gap. It makes your presence felt without saying a word, and that's a rare form of influence. Mirroring is a subtle psychological technique where you imitate another person's behavior, speech patterns, or body language to build rapport. When done naturally, the other person doesn't even realize it's happening, but their brain does. Humans are wired to trust and feel comfortable around those who seem similar to them. It's rooted in what psychologists call the chameleon effect. This technique can be used in conversations, interviews, negotiations, and even on first dates. If someone leans in, you lean in. If they speak softly, you lower your voice. If they use specific words or phrases repeatedly, incorporate them gently into your responses. The key is subtlety. Obvious copying will backfire and feel strange or even mocking. The magic lies in being just in sync enough that it feels like you're both on the same wavelength. This alignment sends nonverbal signals that say, "I get you," or "we're alike," which fosters a sense of safety and understanding. As people begin to feel that connection, they tend to open up more, agree more often, and develop a liking or trust toward you, all without knowing why. Mirroring isn't manipulation. It's empathy expressed through behavior. Used ethically, it can transform social interactions in a quiet but powerful way. The word, because holds surprising psychological power. When making a request, simply adding a reason, even a trivial one, significantly increases the chances of compliance. This phenomenon was famously demonstrated in a Harvard study, where people asking to cut in line at a copier were more successful when they added a reason like, "Because I have to make some copies." The actual reason wasn't impressive or urgent, yet it still worked. The human brain is wired to respond to explanations, even if they aren't particularly strong. It creates an automatic assumption that the request is justified, lowering resistance. Using because taps into a mental shortcut people use to process information quickly. They hear a request, then hear because, and their mind jumps to accept it as valid without deeper scrutiny. This can be especially useful in situations where persuasion is key, sales, negotiations, or everyday interactions. It softens the ask and increases a sense of reasonableness. The strength of the reason can enhance the effect, but the presence of reason alone already triggers a more cooperative response. It also makes the speaker appear more thoughtful and intentional, which subtly increases their perceived authority or trustworthiness in the moment. Repeating the last few words someone says, in a calm and curious tone, creates a powerful psychological effect that makes them feel deeply heard. It's a subtle way to show active listening without interrupting or offering immediate judgment. When someone feels like their words are being reflected back to them, they naturally continue speaking, often going deeper into their thoughts or emotions. This technique works because it signals validation, not agreement, but understanding. In emotionally charged conversations or debates, it can de-escalate tension by making the other person feel safe and respected. This method also buys time. Instead of rushing to formulate a response, you're creating space, allowing the other person to expand while you gather your thoughts. It helps avoid reactive replies and promotes more thoughtful dialogue. The more someone feels listened to, the more open they become, even if they were initially defensive or distant. It strengthens trust quickly and often turns difficult conversations into cooperative ones. Psychologically, people are drawn to those who make them feel seen and heard, mirroring their words, especially when paired with steady eye contact and genuine interest, leaves a lasting impression. It's a simple but deeply effective communication tool in both personal and professional settings. Scarcity is one of the most persuasive psychological triggers because people place higher value on things that are limited, rare, or hard to get. When something isn't easily available, it automatically feels more desirable. This isn't just about physical items. It applies to time, attention, and presence as well. When you're always available, constantly saying yes, or giving too much too easily, people tend to take it for granted. But when you pull back just slightly, when you become a bit less accessible, people notice, and they often lean in. This effect is driven by the fear of missing out. The idea that they might lose the opportunity to have something or someone creates urgency and emotional intensity. It activates the brain's reward center, making the object or person seem more valuable simply because access feels uncertain. In relationships, showing you have your own life, goals, and boundaries communicates self-worth and confidence. In business, a product or offer framed as limited time, or only a few left, naturally attracts more interest. The trick is balance. Too much scarcity feels manipulative, while just enough creates allure. When people feel they can't have unlimited access to something, they chase it harder and appreciate more.